everybody, No Gas Nico here. I want to showcase this car. It's my new EV, and I'm going to start a new playlist. I've already learned a lot of things about this car, a lot of things I wish I would have known before I bought it, and would have maybe steered me away, maybe not. I still like the car. Obviously, I'm still in the honeymoon phase. It's been only a couple of weeks since I bought it. Bought it November 23rd. And let me just kind of go through the basics, show you my dash, how much range this car has, and the different driving modes, what they mean. And we're going to take it for a little spin. I'm going to take it to the car wash. I'm going to kind of talk about some of the other things that I like about this car during the drive. All right, so here we go. Let's start with range. Okay, to start out with, you change driving modes down here in the console. So you have comfort, Eco Pro, and if you hit this again, it goes to Eco Pro Plus. Right now I'm in Eco Pro Plus. So what that tells me is I have 125 miles of range for battery, and I have 75 miles of range on the gas engine for the gas generator. Now this is a i3 Rex 2018. So what it shows here is that's pretty decent, but I'm limited to 56 miles an hour. That's what the Eco Pro Plus does. And another thing it does is it totally shuts off my climate control. I don't have any climate control. I try to turn it on. It says Eco Pro Plus, but it's really limited. So I'm going to go ahead and press this up one. And you see it goes to Eco Pro. Now it does limit, changes it up there too, shows you what you're doing. It does limit some of the climate control to where it's not pulling too much power. Well, you can see I lost range, 116 miles, 70 miles. Now, if I turn the climate control completely off, went to 123 miles, not 125 miles that I got with Eco Pro Plus. Now, I'm going to go ahead, push this button again, and it's going to change to comfort. Now, comfort, I would like to say, is closer to sport, not comfort. So you drop me down to 98, 59 on gas. So that's going to consume more. Now, why is it going to consume more? Let me tell you. I'm going to go ahead and start taking off here, head towards the car wash. Now, the different modes. Comfort, like I said, is more, I would say it's sport mode. It unleashes the full torque of the engine. Not the full torque. I mean, you'd have to put the accelerator all the way down to get the full torque. But you get all the torque right now as soon as you hit the pedal. Now, you go to Eco Pro. What that does is you have to actually push the accelerator down further to get the same amount of torque. So it limits the amount of output power based on how far you push the accelerator. So it kind of saves your range, saves your battery in that regards. And also it does do changes on the climate control to where it doesn't run as hard to where it eats more battery. Now, if you're in comfort mode, you got full use of the climate. You can run it as much and as hot or as cold as you want. There's no restrictions. As you go into the different eco modes, it starts restricting all of that. So those are the three driving modes. Personally, I prefer driving in Eco Pro. I was still in comfort, and I realized every time I hit the accelerator, I was kind of pushing my head back. I don't like that aggressiveness all the time. Now, there's a time and a place where maybe you want that aggressive. Maybe you want a little enjoyment, a little excitement. You can put it in comfort mode. Now, this car does come to where it defaults comfort mode. I didn't like that. I like to where I would rather turn the car on, have it in Eco Pro, which is the mode I want to operate in. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't change it. I couldn't say save the last setting. I found a way to do that. Stay tuned, subscribe, look at part 2. I'm going to show you how to do that if you happen to buy one of these cars. So again, those are the three modes. They're nice. One thing I don't like about the climate control, it does have automatic, but the fan speed, if you adjust the fan speed, it doesn't seem to auto adjust for you. It almost seems like the fan stays on, but then it adjusts the temperature accordingly. I haven't quite figured that out yet. If anybody's got one of these BMW i3s, and maybe you can clue me in on why the fan speed, I'm having such trouble with it. I think it's just a learning curve. But anyway, if you have one of these, please chime in the comments and let me know what I'm missing, or link a video that might describe it better for me, because I've been searching and I'm having a hard time. So anyway, that's one of the negatives. It does have heated seats. This has both driver passenger side heated seats with 3 different levels of heat. I found even the lowest level, it's pretty hot. The high, I don't know. I mean, I think that you're turning into a rotisserie chicken if you sit on that thing on high. Probably end up cooked by the end of your drive. My wife, she had it on high and threw a blanket over top of herself and absolutely loved it. So if you're one of these people that love really hot heated seats like my wife does, you're gonna love the BMW i3 because the heated seats are no joke. I can tell you that right now. It does have just standard cruise control. This particular model doesn't have the adaptive cruise control. Higher models do. This is just the baseline, a base i3 Rex. So no adaptive cruise control. I do have some controls on the steering wheel for volume, changing modes, whether I want to, Siri, it's XM satellite. If I want to go to Bluetooth. One thing I do not like is it does not have Android Auto. So I don't know if it has Apple CarPlay. I'm going to have to plug it into my wife's phone and see if Apple CarPlay comes up. But as of right now, I know it does not have Android Auto. So I just been listening to my music via Bluetooth. So if you're really hung up, now there's a way. I've seen a video on how to install a device to get Android Auto. So if that is a deal breaker, there is a workaround to where you can get Android Auto installed on these, but it is with aftermarket components. They come with a 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty. Now, this is a 5-year-old car, so I don't have a warranty. I bought it without a warranty. Only warranty left on this vehicle is the battery. They come with an 8-year, 100,000-mile high-voltage battery warranty. So you don't have to worry about the high expense of changing the battery for 100,000 miles or 8 years. So I still have a few years left on that. The condition of this battery seems to be very good. I've been getting really close to the 33 kilowatt hours. Excuse me. It's time of year. There's a lot of things going on. So this battery is in really good shape. Now, will I go and have the battery evaluated right before the warranty's up just to be sure it didn't meet the replacement specifications? I got a few years to worry about that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see how the car runs. An optional sunroof. Now, the sunroof almost looks like T-tops. There's this divider here. And I'm wondering, why did you put a divider here? I don't understand. This could be a sunroof completely open. It is power. It does have a shade, so I can pull up the shade, and then it dawned on me, well, what if somebody likes the sun beating down on them and somebody does not? So passenger, if they don't like the sun on them, they can flip the shade forward, and that way they continue driving. Now, it is a shade. It's almost like a screen material, so it can still allow air through. So if you don't like the sun, but you want air, you can still open up the sunroof, and I'm getting air in. You can see right there where the sun started kicking out. So I do have this sunroof open. I'm getting air through here, but I still have the sunscreen open, and I don't have to worry about getting the sun beat down on me. Now it's December, Michigan. I'm not getting the sun beat down on me anyway. Let me close that so we won't get the wind noise. But it is power, and it's usually you could do 1 click back, opens it up all the way. 1 click forward, closes it all the way. If I do 1 click up, push the button up, it will just pop it. That way you can just have it kind of popped open just for ventilation. If I push it again, it closes it. Very simple, very standard way of operating. Another thing this does have that I like, the outside mirrors fold. If I push the button on my door handle here, I will fold the mirrors in. I'm going to do that going into the car wash. I'm going to show you where I can go into the car wash, fold the mirrors in, and I recommend you do that because I've been to plenty of car washes where the attendant just reaches over and goes ahead and pushes them. I don't know. I haven't tried to push these or if they can be pushed manually. They are power mirrors, so I don't want to, without reading up on it, knowing if I'm going to hurt it or not. I don't want to do that. So I'll look into it and hopefully maybe do a little update on that part. But it's got folding mirrors. Now it also has keyless entry. Now you do have a standard BMW key fob, which let me pull it out here. Standard key fob where you have an unlock button, the BMW symbol button. So you have unlock, then the BMW is lock, and then you have a trunk button. Now this does not have a power lift gate. What this has is a locking gate on the back. So if you just wanted to unlock the gate and not the doors, you can just hit this button, unlock the power lift gate. Then there's a handle on the back of the lift gate where you pop it, open it up, and then put your groceries in or golf clubs or whatever you happen to have. And what I do not like is the car also has a frunk. So I do have a front trunk. There's no button to release the front trunk. And there's no button up by the front to pop it. There's a button down here. There's a picture of it. It's also it shows the trunk, the front, and the fuel releases. So you can push a button, it will pop the front, and then you can go ahead and open it up after that, which I don't like because if I unlock the doors with the key fob, it unlocks the rear hatch. So I can just use the unlock button, and this button is pretty much useless to me anyway. Why not make this button the front and then unlock for the back hatch? It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's the way BMW set this up, and hopefully, I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's just kind of an inconvenience. That's one of the things I do not like about this car. Minor, of course, that's not going to be something that's going to make me not want to purchase the car, obviously, because I still purchase the car. Another nice thing about this key fob, if you lock the doors, you have your windows down, sunroof open. If you hold the lock button and you continuously hold it, it will roll up the windows and close the sunroof while you're holding it. Now, if you let go while they're rolling up, they'll stop. So you can roll them up and leave them cracked if you want with this. And on the flip side of that, the unlock, if you press and hold the unlock button, it'll start to roll down the windows. And then when the windows get down so far, you start getting the sunroof open. And I'll demonstrate that. That's a very nice feature, I think, because if you get out and realize that you left the window open, you don't have to get in, start the car, roll the window up, shut the car, and then get back out. You can just do it all from the key fob. Very nice little feature. I like it. Not a lot of people might use that, but it's there if you need it. If you're in the southern hot climate and the car is cooking, you just want to crack the windows, you can do that from your house. Hold this if the car's parked outside in direct sunlight. You can just use your key fob to crack the windows from the house. Stay in your air conditioning while you do it. I think that's really neat. I didn't expect that. I did see online where somebody saw somebody do that in the video, so I tried it. It works. All right, so let's talk about the range extender. Why did I buy a BMW I-Series with a gas engine? It doesn't have a very large engine. It is basically a two-cylinder motorcycle engine. It's a 0.6 liter engine. It's going to get like 50, 60 horsepower. It's a very small engine. All it is a generator. It is not connected to the rear wheels. It does not drive the car at all. It provides electricity to the electric motors that drive the car. So that's how this is still considered an EV, because the range extender is not coupled with the gasoline engine and the electric engine are not coupled together onto the transmission. Hybrid vehicles will have a gasoline engine, the electric motor, and then the transmission. So they'll all be in line together, and one or the other or both will provide power to the wheels. In a range extender, it is a pure EV, but it pretty much, instead of you see the memes with people with a generator outside next to a Tesla plugged in, and because somebody ran out of battery, and they're charging it with the generators that get them to the charging station. Instead of carrying a portable generator with me, there's one built into this car. So if I need it, I run out of battery, I can just continue to drive and keep putting gasoline in the car and get to where I gotta go. Now, why would I want that option if battery electric vehicles are so great? Let me tell you why. Battery electric vehicles are outproducing the infrastructure. What does that mean? There are more battery electric vehicles being sold than fast chargers are being installed. And when I first bought EVs where I needed fast charging, it was in 2020. During COVID, I bought my Nissan Leaf S Plus with the Chatamo plug. Any charger I found on the map, I drove to, they were almost always both available. Rarely would I see one other person using the charger, and I could go and charge anywhere. Recently, every charger I've gone to, there has been more cars waiting to charge than there are chargers. That's a problem. If we don't start building more chargers, we're going to have a problem with getting EVs to really take, because you're not going to be able to go on a road trip if you're fourth or fifth or sixth in line waiting for a charge. You're not going to do it. You're going to sell your EV and go back to a gas car. I would do the same. I actually almost did do that with this car because I have had to where I had to sit and wait and wait and wait. Now, I had plenty of range to get where I had to go within 10, 15, 20-minute charge, and then I would have been fine. But that's not the case. Chargers were not available, so I had to sit and wait. Not a good thing. So that's why I got the range extender. I really didn't like it because I don't want to use gasoline, but with the way the infrastructure is, I decided that was a good way to go. All right, so now I want to talk about something I do not like about this car. BMW decided to put two different size wheels on this car. They have 19-inch by 5-inch wheels in the front, 19-inch by 5.5-inch wheels in the rear. Now, the first snowfall we had this year, I was shortly after I got the car, shortly after Thanksgiving, realized that this car was not doing so hot in the snow on the slippery roads. What do I mean by that? A little bit of snow-covered roads. Wasn't too bad. I could take any vehicle and drive it. It wouldn't have had any problem. Wasn't anything deep, just slightly covered roads. And every time I let off the accelerator, felt like the rear tires were breaking loose. So it was almost like the tires were sliding because the regenerative braking was so hard. Now, this does have really hard regenerative braking. What do I mean by that? I was familiar with Nissan Leafs. If you've been following my channel, you know that Nissan Leaf is kind of been my go-to EV. Well, I'm moving away from Nissan. One, I don't like Chatamo. So, and the charging issues we're having already with that car, and they're not going to put any more Chatamo stations in. It's just, I got to say goodbye to the Leaf because it's just not very, it's not very good for road trips. And you could get stuck and not be able to find a charger. It's just a bad situation altogether. So with that, I moved on, and now I got this BMW. So I was used to being able to change how strong the regenerative braking is. The Nissan, I had 3 modes, which is drive mode, B mode, which was more regenerative braking for B. And then they also had the e-brake, which would put a really aggressive brake and actually bring the car to a stop. The BMW i3 series seems to have e-brake on all the time if I was going to compare it to the Nissan. So it doesn't have the lesser modes. So when I'm driving in the snow, it had really strong braking from the electric motor to the rear tires, which was causing the rear end to wiggle as I was going to. So if I'm going down the road and this is the rear end, I literally was doing this when I was slowing down. And I like that. Did a lot of research. Found out that that is because I have the low road resistance tires, the ones that come standard on this car. I can't think of the name. I'll put it up here, but Ecopias. They are not meant for snow. So, okay, I decided I want to get new tires. I want to get snow tires. I've read online, forums, Facebook groups, did a lot of research and found out that BlizzTech, from Bridgestone is the perfect tire for this type of climate. So, okay, I ordered a set from a place online. I just gonna order the tires, slap them on the rims I had. All is good. I put the order in. 5 minutes after I put the order in, they call me. They don't make 19-inch by 5.5-inch wide snow tires for that size rim. It's not possible to get them. You have to buy new rims, and of course, you gotta have just two, unless you're gonna buy the exact same rims because you need to match the offset. I ended up buying all four rims and tires, spent a lot more money than I wanted to. So that's something that I'm not happy about. I think, why would you do that? I can't rotate those tires, my summer tires, front to back, like I do any other car, because they're different sizes. I mean, I can't put those bigger tires in the front, smaller tires in the back. That's just dumb. So I basically gonna just run the tires till they wear out and not try to maximize use. So anyway, I don't like that. Now I could buy another set of 19 by 5s, throw them in the back, and then just make it square to where they're all the same. A lot of people have done that with these cars, but keep in mind that is an issue with this car. Is standard, they come with a larger set of tires in the back, larger rims than they do in the front. So you're going to run into this issue to where you're going to have to keep track. So if you do have a separate set in storage, you're going to have to make sure you know which set goes on the front, which set goes on the back. Inside the rim, there's a stamp that says J5 X19 or J5.5 X19. The 5 and the 5.5 are the rim width. So you can look inside the rim and know which one's which, but that's just extra steps you have to do. So, and here's a picture of the tires I put on. They look like really good tires. The first time I put them on, they haven't been on snow yet. I put them on today. So they ride okay. Obviously, I haven't driven on them enough to see if that's going to impact my range. Probably will a little bit, but will be enough to be noticeable. Time will tell. I'll do an update on those tires in a future video. All right, so let's talk about the range extender and some of the options. Now, this car didn't have the option for the range extender in the iDrive menus. So when I went to the settings, I did not have range extender. I was able to unlock it with a device and a program on my phone that I'll get into in a future video and go through that and show you how to do coding on this car, which I've already started to do some coding, that things that I like that I wanted. So one of the things I did, which was a big one for me, was the range extender. Now, why am I so worried about the range extender? I'll tell you why. Currently, the way this car is set up is the battery will run down to 6%. Once you hit 6%, the range extender kicks on. So the gasoline engine in the back, the little 2-cylinder, will kick on, and you can continue driving. It's seamless. You don't notice any interruption in power. There's no jerk when it kicks on. It's just all of a sudden there's a little bit of a noise coming from behind you. You notice that the gasoline engine turned on. Okay, fine, no big deal. It's only happened once when we picked the car up from Ohio. It was a 182-mile round trip. This car obviously wasn't going to make it on battery alone, so we ran gas as well. So anyway, my daughter was driving the car when it kicked on because I had to go pick up the truck I left there when I bought the car. So anyway, it gets down to 6%. The range extender kicks in, the gasoline kicks in, and you continue driving. Now, if you're in the city or a 2-lane highway, 55 miles an hour, you're fine. The problem with such a small engine, it does not produce enough power to travel at expressway speeds. I have not experienced this yet because I haven't ran the battery down and did a test. I will do this test and do a follow-up video and let you know how it did. Right now, I'm just going about what I've read online about how it behaves when the range extender kicks in and the battery is depleted. Now, a lot of people online say you need to hold the charge if you're going to be doing expressway driving. I didn't have that option on here, so I was able to unlock it. I have that option now, and I've used it. I used it when we traveled to 2 different cities, came back home to our hometown, and it worked flawlessly. I'm going to go through the menu set now and show you. I can't turn it on because you can't turn it on until you're down to like 75% battery. So you have to deplete the battery down to 75% before this option is available. So if you're doing a long road trip to where you know you're not going to make it on battery, and maybe the chargers are scarce, you have a long distance before you get to a charger, you're going to want to use this. So let me show you how to turn it on. Okay, here's the main menu. I'm going to navigate this by, when I rotate this, you can see it moves it. And then if I go into settings and I push down, that enters it. So I'm going to go back. So I'm going to push down. That enters you into the main settings menus. Now you can see there's a lot of things that you can select in here. And I'm going to do more videos going through each one of these individual. I'm not going to do a one big video about this, but I did want to highlight this range extender. Now, again, this was not available when I first bought the car. I had to unlock it, and I will go into how to do that in a future video. So I'm going to select that, and you're going to see here where it says hold state of charge. All you'd have to do is push the selector button down. It would check it. Now it's telling me it's not possible. Check the owner's manual for reasons. The reason is I'm not at 75% or less charge, so I cannot hold the state of charge high. So why is that a big deal to be down to 75%? Well, the power that's generated from the range extender needs to go somewhere. So you need to have room in the battery to accept this charge. So that range extender is going to be putting power in the battery. And if you don't have enough room for it to accept the charge, you could damage the cells. So BMW put a safety in there to make sure that you're going to have enough room to where even if you're stopped in traffic and the gasoline engine's running, you're not going to overcharge the battery. And that's a good thing. That's a nice little safety feature. Now, what I noticed when I was driving on the highway, I held the state of charge. I did notice that I started at 75% and it slowly went to 74.5, 74. Now, it wasn't dropping nearly as fast because I was running mostly on gasoline, but it was taking the energy from the high voltage battery as well from the range extender. Now, had I been driving in the city, I wouldn't have been dropping my battery percentage because there's enough power to run those lower speeds. Once you get into higher speeds, it's so much of a power draw that the range extender cannot provide enough power to go 70, 75 miles an hour. So you're also taking power from the back. So you're kind of using them both at the same time when you're going at expressway speeds. Now that means that your battery is going to last longer. You'll be able to travel at those speeds for much longer instead of for reduced speeds because you've depleted your high voltage battery down to 6%. I'm going to do a future video. I'm going to do a test on that. I'm going to let my battery run out completely, and then I'm going to get on the highway with the range extender running and see where I max out at. I'll floor it and see how fast I can get this thing going. I don't know what it's going to end up being, uphill, downhill. We'll do various tests and see how this thing will act while it's only on gasoline. I may be surprised. I may not be surprised, but don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can check out that video coming up in the future. All right, so I'm going to cut it off there. Thanks for watching, and God bless.